Today I want to share the 5 Japanese condiments that I think everyone should start with if they want to make Japanese food at home. And spoiler alert, dashi isn't one of them. I'll explain what each one does, how to choose the best one at the store, and how I use it in everyday cooking so you can start using them with confidence. But first, I'd like to talk about what makes Japanese condiments so unique. Most Japanese condiments are made with just a few simple ingredients like rice, koji, salt, and water. But because most of them are fermented, they develop the deep savory flavor, which is often called as umami. And this is just my theory, but I feel like in Japanese cooking, instead of making the dish that condiments flavor, like making the dish soy sauce flavor or mirin flavor, we use condiments to highlight the natural flavor of the ingredients. I know this is not applied to all Japanese dishes, like ramen obviously tastes like soy sauce, but for everyday cooking, this is what I try to do. So where can you buy Japanese condiments? The good news is Japanese ingredients are much easier to find than they used to be, thanks to our Japanese ancestors. So you can find some basic Japanese condiments like miso and soy sauce at regular grocery stores, but if you want to find high quality one or specific brands, you might need to go to Asian grocery stores or online grocery stores like Amazon or Wii, which I always use. So now we know what makes Japanese condiments so unique and where to buy those things. Let's talk about the 5 condiments to start with. Even though I said start with, I think this will be enough for experienced cooks as well. The first condiment, or should I say seasoning, is salt. If I were going to spend extra money on only one item today, it would be salt. Because the simpler your cooking is, the more important good salt becomes. What does salt do? Salt adds saltiness and umami if you use good salt, and it brings out flavor and sweetness. It balances bitterness. It also makes other flavors taste more clear. Which salt should you buy? Japanese cooking traditionally use sea salt, but it's really hard to find good sea salt in the States. So I would say any natural salt will work. When you choose salt, I want you to try to pick the one that is natural salt, like sea salt, rock salt, or lake salt. Choose a salt that doesn't contain any additives, so the ingredients should be salt. That's it. It's unrefined or minimally processed, and ideally it's swallowed, evaporated, or made using traditional methods. Some recommendations are for unrefined sea salt, Baja Gold sea salt, and Celtic sea salt. For unrefined ancient sea salt, Redmond real sea salt will work great. But these are a little bit more expensive than regular salt. So for everyday kitchen tasks like blanching vegetables in salted water or salt massaging vegetables, I always use cheaper salt like kosher salt without additives. An example is Diamond Crystal Kosher Salt because this one doesn't have additives. I generally avoid iodized salt because it often contains additives and it has strong saltiness instead of mild sweet / umami rich / saltiness, if that makes sense. If you're worried about iodine, a traditional Japanese diet already contains a lot of iodine rich food items like seaweed and seafood. So as long as you follow Japanese diet, especially mago wa yasashi that I explained in this video, you don't need to worry about iodine. So there's no reason to use iodized salt unless you are required to for some health reasons. The next one is rice vinegar. Rice vinegar is the most common vinegar used in Japan. It's made by fermenting rice, koji, and water into sake first. Sake means alcohol in Japan. Then adding acetic acid bacteria and aging it. Compared to many Western vinegars like balsamic white wine vinegar, rice vinegar is milder and has a subtle sweetness and umami. What does rice vinegar do? It adds sourness, enhances umami and saltiness, and it balances sweetness and spiciness. It also helps preserve food, like I explained in my asazuke video. How do I use rice vinegar in everyday cooking? I like to add rice vinegar to natto. I always eat natto with rice vinegar and soy sauce. I also use it for asazuke, which is Japanese quick pickles. I also make sweet and sour stir fry, which everyone loves, right? Whenever I want to enhance the flavor of a dish without adding more salt, which vinegar should you buy? I would say rice vinegar is the most common thing in Japan, so go get it if possible. Avoid seasoned rice vinegar, or it's also called sushi vinegar, because they contain sugar and salt and they're totally different than plain rice vinegar. So be careful when you pick rice vinegar at the store. Please pay attention to the labels. And when you pick rice vinegar, if possible, look for products that are made only with rice and water without any additives and labeled as genuine brewed or traditionally crafted. To store rice vinegar, store it in a cool, dark place, but it's been getting hotter and hotter recently, so some people say it's better to store it in the fridge. It's also recommended to use up a bottle within a year after opening for the best flavor. The next step is soy sauce. Soy sauce is probably the most iconic Japanese condiment, and maybe everyone knows about soy sauce. Soy sauce is made by mixing steamed soybeans, wheat, salt, and water, then letting it ferment and age before being pressed. Traditionally, it's fermented in wooden vats that look like this one over 1 year. But nowadays, many companies use alcohol or other additives to speed up this process. So regular soy sauce you can find at the grocery store might be less oishi, less delicious, yummy than traditional ones. What does soy sauce do? It adds saltiness, of course, but not only saltiness, it also adds umami and subtle sweetness. It also reduces fishy or meaty smell. This is why Japanese people eat sashimi with soy sauce or sushi with soy sauce instead of salt. How do I use soy sauce? I use it just like regular salt, but instead of just adding saltiness, I use soy sauce when I want to add umami as well. I also use it just like not dressing, but drizzle over vegetables to make something like ohidashi. Which soy sauce should you buy? There are mainly 3 types of soy sauce in the market: koikuchi, usukuchi, and tamari. Koikuchi is the most basic one, and I would say it's the most versatile one. Usukuchi is lighter in color, but it's saltier than koikuchi, so be careful when you use usukuchi. It's useful when you don't want to add color to the dish. Tamari is darker and thicker than koikuchi or usukuchi, and it has the highest umami flavor out of these 3. And it's often eaten with sashimi. But because tamari is more expensive than koikuchi or usukuchi, I don't think it's common in Japan. I don't know, my parents didn't have it, so yeah. If you are just getting started with Japanese cooking, just get koikuchi and ignore the others. Unless you want gluten-free version, then I would say tamari would be a great option. I have only koikuchi and I use only koikuchi, so I don't think you need usukuchi unless you really want to. When you choose soy sauce, please pick the one that is made only with soybeans, wheat, salt, and water. Avoid GMOs or defatted processed soybeans, and ideally traditionally brewed and aged for more than a couple of years. But this kind of soy sauce is really expensive, so I would say just pay attention to the first 2 points. How to store soy sauce. Store in a cool, dark place, but like I said before, it's getting hotter and hotter recently, so maybe it's better to store it in the fridge. It's recommended to use up a bottle within 1 to 1.5 years after opening. The next step is Miso. Miso is a fermented soybean paste with a rich, savory flavor. It's made by mixing steamed soybeans, koji, salt, and water, then allowing it to ferment and age for about a year or longer. Some brands skip this aging step by adding additives like yeast and alcohol. So again, it's important to check the label of the product. What does miso do? It adds umami richness and saltiness. How do I use miso? Of course, I make miso soup with miso. I also use it to make stir fry with summer veggies like this one. I also use it as just regular seasoning by combining it with ground sesame seeds or vinegar. Yeah, they taste really good. Like soy sauce, there are multiple types of miso in the market. There are mainly 3 types that are most common: white, light colored, and red miso. White miso is sweeter and milder, light colored is neutral, and red color is saltier and bolder. And these flavor differences are because of the amount of koji. White miso contains more koji than red miso, so that's why it's sweeter than red miso. Also, the length of fermentation affects the color of the miso. Red miso is fermented longer than white miso, and that's why red miso is red. If you pick only one type of miso, I would say go with light colored miso because this is something like a baby between white miso and red miso. I have only this light colored miso at home because I don't think I can use up all 3 types, and there haven't been any problems so far. So yeah, I would say go with light colored miso. When you pick miso, please pay attention to the labels. Again, pick the one that is made only with soybeans, rice, barley, or bean koji, salt, and water. Pick the one that is made with non-GMO soybeans and labeled as naturally brewed, long-aged, additive-free, or raw miso. And ideally fermented and aged for about a year. For storage, you want to store miso in the fridge or freezer. Miso won't be hard, so you can store it in the freezer. And when you store it, please cover the surface tightly with something like plastic wrap so the surface doesn't get dried out. It's also recommended to use within 2 months after opening for the best flavor and aroma. Alright, the last one is mirin, but I would say this is optional and I'll explain why soon. Mirin is a sweet rice wine made by mixing steamed sweet rice, koji, and shochu. Shochu is another kind of Japanese alcohol. It is then sacrificed and aged for about 6 months, pressed and filtered, and aged again for another 6 to 12 months or longer. So mirin takes a long time to make. That's why it's so expensive. What does mirin do? It adds gentle sweetness and umami. It also removes fishy or meaty smells, and it also adds a shiny finish. How do I use mirin? When I want to add sweetness to a dish without using sugar, and when I want to add a shiny finish like teriyaki chicken. Which mirin should you buy? There are mainly 3 types of mirin in the market: home mirin, mirin type, and mirin style. One of the differences is alcohol content. Home mirin is 14%, mirin type is around 10%, mirin style is less than 1%. For the character, home mirin is the most traditional mirin, and because it's categorized as alcohol, you need to purchase it at a liquor store. To avoid the alcohol taxes, this mirin type seasoning was born. It's often available online and it's a good alternative to home mirin. You can think of mirin type seasoning as home mirin with salt to avoid alcohol tax. Mirin style is often made with sugar and additives. So I would say if you can't find or buy home mirin or mirin type, avoid mirin style and just use regular natural sweetener. This is why I said mirin is optional. When you choose mirin, pick the one that is made only with sweet rice, koji, and alcohol for home mirin, or addition of salt for mirin type seasoning. which is often available online. Otherwise, use other natural sweeteners like maple syrup. For storage, you want to store mirin in a cool, dark place, and it's recommended to use up the bottle within 3 months after opening for the best flavor. So these are the 5 condiments that I think everyone who wants to cook Japanese food at home should have. And you might realize that there's no dashi or ponzu or sake. They're useful, and if you enjoy them, there's nothing wrong with buying them, but I don't think they're necessary. And I explain why. For dashi, I used to be a dashi powder lover. I always made sure to stock up dashi powder at home and use dashi whenever I felt like the dish was missing something. But I realized that vegetables and other ingredients already have umami and their own flavor. And if I use dashi on top of that, all dishes will taste like dashi, not the ingredients. So nowadays, when I want umami flavor, instead of dashi, I use natural umami from ingredients like kombu, katsuobushi, aburage, and shiitake. I don't make dashi or I don't use dashi powder anymore. The next one is ponzu. Ponzu is something like citrus soy sauce, and it's really useful and versatile, but store-bought ones often contain too many additives. And if you want to buy a good one, it'll be really pricey. And it's really easy to make it at home. You just need to mix the same amount of soy sauce and citrus juice. Just put a piece of kombu and let it sit for a couple of days. That's it. So this is why I stopped buying ponzu. The next one is mentsuyu, which is a sweeter version of soy sauce with dashi flavor. It's versatile like ponzu, but like ponzu, store-bought ones contain too many additives. So now I simply use soy sauce and umami-rich dashi ingredients like katsuobushi and kombu whenever I want mentsuyu-ish flavor. And what about sake? Sake is a Japanese alcohol made with rice and water, and it's useful in some situations, like when you want to thin out miso. But I think it can be substituted with water most of the times. So I would say this is nice to have, but not essential. Out of these 5 condiments, I think miso is the easiest one to start with. And the best way to enjoy miso is, of course, miso soup. So if you want to know how I make miso soup with whatever vegetables I have at home without dashi, check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next video too. Bye!